The new Voidwalker Void 3.0 aspect in Witch Queen, Child of the Old Gods, is a workhorse. But I've seen some folks out there who were underwhelmed with it, and you know what? At first, I was too. But after spending some more time with it, I've learned its little nuances and how to properly optimize my gameplay to get the most out of our Void Buddy aspect. First of all, what exactly does this aspect do besides sitting there looking cute?
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy. Come here, Squishy.
When you cast your Rift, you summon your Void Buddy, and he will appear at your side just like an Arc Soul will. It'll then follow you around for up to 25 seconds until you fire your weapon at an enemy, and the abilities don't count, it has to be a weapon. It will also follow you around so you don't need to stay glued to your Rift. Once you've fired your weapon at an enemy, the child will fly to them, drain their health, doing damage and weakening them and any enemy within about 15 meters. This is the same exact weakening effect from the fragment, which grants 15% bonus damage. Once it's found its target and begun draining, it will not move on to a new target. However, if your initial target dies before it begins draining, then it will seek out the next target you hit with a weapon. Child of the Old Gods has two modes depending upon which Rift you're using. With a Healing Rift, the child will return grenade and melee energy, while with an Empowering Rift it will instead return health. Enemies killed while being drained will refund 20% of your Rift. That means it's just 5 kills to return your entire Rift. Once the Void Buddy has committed to a target and deployed its Void Tendrils, it will drain enemies for up to 10 seconds, returning 7 ticks of grenade and melee energy for roughly 50% of your total ability. The amount returned doesn't scale with more targets, but more targets does make it more consistent, as enemies both leave and enter the area affected by the child. Tip 1. Always prime your Void Buddy. Because our Void Buddy takes a little while to do its job, we want to maximize the time it spends leeching from enemies. What we want to do is prime our Void Buddy ability so that we are ready to send it out before we begin any engagement. What I do is immediately cast my Rift, even before enemies spawn in. Remember, the Void Buddy will follow you for 25 seconds once it's cast, and you don't need to stay in your Rift, so always drop it as soon as it's off cooldown so you can immediately send your child out at the next wave of enemies. Tip 2. Select your targets wisely. Now, think of your Void Buddy as a power pack that needs to stay plugged in, and we are the phone connected to it. And when it has a sufficient power source, we are also getting charged. Alright, maybe not the best analogy, but just stick with me here. We want to find the biggest power source for our buddy that isn't going to die immediately as soon as we chuck a grenade at it, or even to the Void Buddy itself. As you can see, it does a decent amount of damage on its own. The bottom line is we don't want to immediately kill the target we send our buddy at before it does its job. That's like unplugging your phone before we hit 100% battery. The key is to always target the beefiest enemy in the room, such as majors, mini-bosses, and champions for our buddy to leech from. This will give you maximum uptime, and any enemies that happen to be near your target will also be drained and weakened. Our target should always be the last enemy we expect to die in the engagement. But every engagement is unique, so alternatively it could be sent near a spawn point where you know more enemies will quickly be joining in the fray. Once your optimal target or location is chosen, fire one shot at the enemy and be careful not to burn them down. Now you're free to start tossing grenades so that you can reap the benefits of the energy drained from the child. With just 5 kills from targets weakened by the child, your entire Rift will be back and you'll be ready to send out another buddy. But what do you do if there are no bosses or big hefty targets around? Well, instead I'll select a faraway target to be my power source, so that my buddy can send me that energy while I deal with clearing ads that are a bit closer to me. I'll focus on everything else but leave that one ad up as a battery. Just pick something that's far away that won't give you too much trouble, fire one shot to send your buddy out, and then shift your focus back to the other ads. Tip 3. It works on immune targets. The coolest trick of them all is that Child of the Old Gods works on immune and shielded enemies. This means they are the perfect candidate because Child will last the entire duration and they should be your priority target anytime one is up. These shielded wizards in the Psyops battlegrounds are perfect to keep you charged while you deal with the other ads. It also works on Shriekers and any other targetable but immune enemy. Child of the Old Gods is such a fun and powerful tool in our arsenal once you've learned all its little nuances. Have you guys found anything else our Void Buddy can do? Let me know in the comments below, and also share what builds you've been running with Child of the Old Gods. Thanks for tuning in, I'll catch you on the next one.